Hey y'all, it's your girl Charity B, and welcome to the I'm Enough Mastering Self-Love podcast. This podcast was designed for both men and women who are in the process or wanting to start their self-love journey. Here we discuss many topics related to self-love that promotes healthy habits that will help support your mental and emotional health, boost self-confidence, and self-worth. So get ready. This is something you don't want to miss. If you like what you hear in this episode, feel free to DM me and leave comments on my Instagram page at iam.enoughmsl. The podcast is also available on YouTube. The link will be in my description box as well as on my Instagram page. Have you ever noticed when you started choosing you, people started moving differently, like your boundaries offended them? The moment you start choosing your peace, people who benefited from your exhaustion start getting uncomfortable. That's odd. Funny how people call it selfish the second you stop overextending yourself for everybody else. Well, let's keep them uncomfortable and offended. Welcome to another episode of self-prioritization. Hey y'all, it's your girl Charity B, and welcome back to the I'm Enough Mastering Self-Love podcast. If you are new here, welcome. I am glad that you chose to tune in and take a step forward into loving yourself on a deeper level. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. My hope for each of you is that today's episode gives you something meaningful to carry forward, whether it's a reminder to embrace your journey, tools to help you evolve into the best version of yourself, or insight you can apply in your everyday life. Whatever it is that you need, I hope you find it here. We have officially made it to our second pillar of the year, which is locking in. We just completed a whole bunch of episodes of healing. That was episodes 1 through 8. Again, I hope whatever you were needing in your healing process, tools, just reassurance, some grace, whatever it is that you needed during your healing process to let you know that it's okay to not be okay and to just simply just heal. I hope you did find what you needed in those 8 episodes. But now that we have focused on half the year of healing and trying to be authentic in our process, it's time that we lock in. We should have been locking in the beginning, but we really locking in. We're talking about what locking in really means and what it looks like. And we're taking advantage of it because this whole rebirth period is about us reclaiming what's ours. So the main focus is to have structure, be intentional, and protecting our energy. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into episode 9, choosing myself without guilt, boundaries, and self-prioritization. Let's go ahead and talk about why choosing yourself or actually standing on your boundaries could mean or be uncomfortable. Well, many people were taught to earn love through overgiving. Always being available, always being understanding, sacrifice, always fixing, understanding or having the mindset that real stability in any type of relationship or building a foundation for a healthy, prosperous relationship means you have to sacrifice and always fix something, or there always has to be something to fix. And I think that's because of things that we've seen growing up or the things that we've seen on TV shows. Always somebody holding somebody down when they down and out or when they're doing a crime. Being a quote unquote ride or die is what gets you your happy ending in the end. And that's not always, the case or truth, because I don't particularly think you need to go through hell and hot water and disrespect just to get your happy ending or to show that you are really down for someone that you care about. Other ways It could be uncomfortable. It's easier to love and care for others when you see them struggling, and then having to worry or think about your own baggage or the own things in your life that you need to fix for yourself. I think it's easier to become someone else's safe place as a distraction for you not being that safe space for yourself, or being able to deal with or cope with your own baggage. It also could be feelings of being responsible for everyone else's emotions. That's just your norm. That was never your responsibility to begin with. We are not put here to be responsible for other people's emotions and feelings and managing those feelings. We are simply here. We're simply supposed to be held accountable for our own actions and for those that we bring onto this earth, our children, our seeds. Those only two types of people or situations I could see that you're really just responsible for someone else, or even a family member or sibling. If you're an older sibling, your siblings are responsible for each other, but to a certain point. And I think when you feel responsible for other emotions, you have noticed that you've been someone who feels guilty when people are upset, like you have to find a solution for them, or you have to figure it out. Or if you don't figure it out, you feel like either you're a bad friend or a bad sister, daughter, whatever the situation or the case may be. But that's not the case. Sometimes people just need someone to listen and to be there in that situation, be present. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm telling you my problems to fix it, but somewhere along the lines, the wires get crossed and something has happened where we feel as though we are responsible for everyone else's emotions and feelings. But we have to realize that being a loving person, or being someone that shows up and shows that you care, should not require self-abandonment. You can care deeply about people without carrying them at an expense of yourself. There's nothing wrong for looking out for a sibling or for a friend or a family member. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it gets to a point where you start self-sacrificing your own needs, your own wants, and your own happiness at the cost of making sure that other person is happy. And that's where we should draw the line, because again, we're not responsible for the weight of everyone else's emotions. That's not why we were put here. And I think we need to touch a little basis on understanding what kindness versus self-sacrifice really means. Kindness comes from a genuine place of love, care, and it's a choice to be kind. When you self-sacrifice, that comes from feeling obligated to give parts of yourself away in order to feel accepted or needed or valued. One is healthy. One is rooted in your fear, your guilt, or if you're still stuck in survival mode. That's what helps you cope. Kindness says, I want to help you. Self-sacrifice says, if I don't help you, I feel guilty or rejected, or like I'm doing something wrong. We sometimes confuse constantly pouring into others with being a good person, quote unquote, when in reality, we're really abandoning ourselves to maintain relationships, avoid of conflict, or feel worthy. That's where we get our validation from. A kind person can say no and still be loving. A self-sacrificing person often feels like saying no makes them a bad person. Healthy love should not require you to continuously drain yourself. If your kindness is constantly leaving you in exhaustion, overlooking, emotionally depleted, or disconnected from your own self or what your needs are or what makes you happy, it may no longer be kindness. It may be simply you're just abandoning yourself, and you're disguising it as some sort of form of love. So right now, I need everyone to take a moment and just pause and think. Are you someone that actually shows kindness as a form of generosity, a healthy form of generosity, because of those are people you care and love for? Are you someone who tends to sacrifice your peace and abandon yourself when you need yourself the most. There's a huge difference. I think understanding which category that you fall under is very important, because in order to identify if it's a problem, you first gotta know that it's a problem or be aware that's a problem. But I'm here to tell you, I simply just gave you a few pointers there of what the difference of being kind and the difference between self-sacrifice. What a way to live. If you have came to the conclusion that you are someone who tends to self-sacrifice more ways than you can count or think about, it's okay. We're going to work on it. It's okay. If you're someone who says, okay, I show more kindness out of generosity, but I don't self-sacrifice myself as much to where it becomes unhealthy, still okay. At least you still have some good qualities where you still know how to put yourself first and you know how to say no. But there's clearly some things you have pointed out that we need to work on, and that's also okay. We're gonna talk about that. Now, if you're someone you say, I don't self-sacrifice, if I feel like I can't do it and I can't overextend myself, kudos to you. I think you should still keep putting yourself first. I mean, yes, it's okay to care about people, but if you are feel like you're in a healthy spot where like I still can be generous to the people I love, I still can take care the people I care about and make a choice. I feel like I have a choice to decide if I want to help or not doing it out of guilt of love or guilt that I feel like I'm responsible for someone else. Kudos to you. Hey, if you find another sister or brother in need that you see the chance to self-sacrifice, tap them on the shoulder and give them a few pointers, because everyone hopes to be just like you. But for those who are listening here and you feel as though you should be less sacrificial or want to show less ways of abandoning yourself, and when it comes to trying to be kind and loving to others that you care about, let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries are instructions. They're not punishments. They're supposed to protect your peace, energy, and emotional safety, and they help keep relationships from becoming unhealthy. It provides that clarity, that clearness that you need in order to set those demands on what you will and will not allow. Some examples: not answering the phone, saying no without over-explaining. Doesn't need a explanation on why I said no. I just said no. Protecting your rest time, rather that's you actually going to bed or you just simply just don't want to be bothered and you rested in your bed, on your couch at home, not being bothered, or wherever you at. Whatever you describe or you feel like rest is for you, you protect that. You're limiting emotionally draining conversations, choosing distance from inconsistent people. Those are just some simple boundaries that you stand on. Boundaries equal self-respect. And I just want to pause right here. Y'all do know saying you have boundary doesn't mean anything unless you are actually standing on them, right? Because a lot of people love to swear up and down, oh, I would never do this to this. This is one of my boundaries. I'm going to just get up and leave. If this happened to me, I would never let that happen to me. Never say never. Because you will be put in a situation where that may happen to you or the process may start. And if you don't recognize the signs, or if you are so involved with your emotions and your heart is leading your thought process versus your logic, You might find yourself in a position where never woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda turn. When you find yourself in a position where never land turn into never, shoulda, coulda, woulda, didda, all of that, and you ended up doing it. So just because you say you got boundaries does not mean anything. Prove it. Because people will continue to not take you or your boundaries serious. They will play all tap dance, do the split break dance all on your boundaries if you allow them to. Meaning they do not respect you. You not standing on your own boundaries also show you do not respect yourself. Why should someone respect you if you don't even respect yourself? And it may sound a little harsh, but it's a valid question. Why should anyone respect someone, or anything for that matter, that doesn't respect themselves? If I see that you lack those boundaries, and if I'm a narcissistic person or a leech or emotional abuser, whatever form or level of emotional abuser, I'm going to play. If you allow me to play, I'm going to play. Just like with kids, if there's no discipline at the house and I let my child do whatever, talk back, and I don't say anything, my child is going to think that they're going to be able to continue to play with me. The moment I put that child in its place and I discipline that child and I let them know, okay, well, we don't do that over here, they will cease to play. It's setting boundaries. It's having discipline enough to set those boundaries and to actually stand on those boundaries. And I think many people talk too much. When you do say, oh, that won't happen to me, and you telling this person, oh, I wouldn't let that happen to me. People notice these things. They notice these things. Oh, she say she won't let that happen to her. Let's see. Let me try her. Unless you are 100%, not 99.9% sure that if you were in that same position, you would do exactly what you said, I advise you to be quiet. Unless you are somebody that can 100% say, I stand on every boundary that I talk about or list or even communicate with my partner that these are my boundaries. If I stand on it 100%, okay, talk your stuff. But if you not, shut up. But I said all that to say, like, boundaries are very important. More than we probably even take the time to really just think on. Boundaries are really important, are important aspect to your happiness. If you don't have boundaries, if you don't have self-respect, or you don't respect yourself, anybody, anything will run over you like a doormat if you allow it. So I think it's important that we take the time to understand what these boundaries are, what they will do for us in our lives, the cause and effect, and implement them in our everyday life. Now, I want you to think briefly. What are some areas in your life that you feel like you lack boundaries where you should set them? If that's in a relationship with your significant others, relationship with particular friends, relationships with particular family members, within your workplace environment, with coworkers, where do you feel that you need to implement boundaries? Where do we need to put this guard up? Now, it's all nice to have boundaries. It's all nice to stand on them and implement them. They make you feel more confident. They make you feel important, special. It boosts your self-esteem and knowing that you have self-respect. But along with that comes with guilt sometimes for setting those boundaries and standing on them. Many people were conditioned to believe that their worth was tied to how much they gave to others. And the moment you choose your nervous system kind of thinks something is wrong because it's so used to doing things the way before you started choosing yourself. Choosing yourself can be unfamiliar. And if you have spent many years overextending yourself or people pleasing, the guilt is something that comes along with that. But It's not coming from just you and your thought process and your nervous system. It's reinforced by the reactions of other people towards your boundaries that you set in place and you are starting to implement in your everyday life. Now, there's always going to be those emotional vultures or just vultures, period, in our lives that we have came across. These people who lack the emotional intelligence or any type of kindness, anything, those emotional vultures. People don't like people who benefited from your lack of boundaries start acting different. They the ones that may start being offended, disappointed, or accusing you of, oh girl, you changed, or bro, why you switching up now? Like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? You acting different, and trying to call you quote unquote fake. That reaction can sometimes, or for certain people, can make you start questioning yourself, even when your boundaries are completely reasonable. Like they needed to be there. People don't like when you start choosing you and being better because you're so used to take because you used to give and give and giving. It's like taking candy from a spoiled baby when every day you train this kid that no matter what they do, they're going to get a candy. The moment you try to take it away, they're going to have a whole tantrum. But I'm here to tell you, with this guilt that you may feel, it's not always proof that you're harming anyone or that you're doing anything wrong. Sometimes guilt is just evidence that you're breaking those old patterns that no longer serve you. It's time to move on, and you're choosing to do so. If you really think about it, if you're someone that has a great heart, you're kind, sweet, and you do anything for anybody that you care about, or people who on the street you never met, you are a kind person. But doing this new thing, setting these new boundaries, standing on these new boundaries make you happier than you ever been in your life. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see where the problem is. If you feel more miserable not being a kind person, but just overextending at the cost of yourself, and you can tell that it's exhausting you and draining you, and you just getting to the point that you may be bitter, or you may be, having animosity towards people, and you're like, that's not right. But it's because you're emotionally drained. You're drained in every area. You didn't give everything you could give, and you are exhausted. That's why you feel that way. That's why you're unhappy. But if choosing you causes you the best happiness that you've ever felt in your life, there's nothing wrong with that. So tuck that guilt away. I'm here to tell you, tuck that guilt away. Now, there are instances where, you're just doing stuff too selfishly with no consideration to nobody, and then it just outside your moral compass, then okay, now we have a problem. But if you're not harming anybody by setting these boundaries, they seem completely reasonable, then they need to be there. I think you're doing the most healthiest thing for yourself. That guilt usually does fade away the more you realize that choosing yourself does not make you unkind. It makes you emotionally healthier. If you're sitting here and you're someone that I've just described, you've used to overgiving, but you started choosing yourself now and you feel happier. You feel the best you've ever felt. I need you to make this one of your affirmations. The guilt usually fades away the more I realize that choosing myself does not make me unkind. I am still the most kindest, beautiful, loving soul. It makes me emotionally healthier. I am the happiest I've ever been. I wouldn't change nothing for anything. Add it to your arsenal. Repeat it. Sit in the mirror. Say it to yourself at least once a day, or some form of affirmation that's tailored to that, to ease that guilt, to ease the nervous system into understanding, child, this is the new us. We are choosing us authentically, wholly, fully, all of that with no regrets. That discomfort is a part of growth. Because growth does require you to become familiar with things your old version of you avoided. New boundaries do feel uncomfortable. Speaking up does feel uncomfortable. Choosing yourself fully, authentically, does feel uncomfortable. But you got to realize that healing often does feel uncomfortable before it even feels freeing. It's like I always state, it's not a linear situation. It be all over the place, all over the place. Y'all ever see that? If you watch SpongeBob, when Mr. Krabs was asking him to do all kind of stuff, and SpongeBob was like, "You said don't do this, but now you're saying do that, and then you said don't do that, now do this, and now you're saying do that," and now he was just rolling his hands around and made all kind of like dotted lines, crazy lines all the place. Like that's how I would describe healing, just all over the place, chaotic. But it's a beautiful thing when you actually feel free. But it's okay. Like, you're unlearning behaviors that once helped you survive. Behaviors that helped you feel accepted or even helped you avoid those conflict situations. It helped you through the storm. You did what you could do best to get through it. But we're trying to do things we're trying to head in a healthier direction since we didn't make it through the storm. We're trying to head to the sunrise where the sun is shining bright and we get to sit on that nice beach. But that requires us to do the work and move in certain or learn certain behaviors that are more healthier for us to be able to have that soft life. And that process can feel lonely. It can be awkward and it can be emotionally unfamiliar. And that growth can come with loss. Sometimes you outgrow dynamics where people only value your constant availability, silence, or self-sacrifice. Not everyone will celebrate the healthier version of you, especially if the old version benefited them more than it did you. That's the whole point of an emotional vampire. But it's not about them anymore. We're making a choice to not make it about them. And it's okay to learn that peace sometimes disappoints people who preferred your exhaustion. Trying to stop people pleasing is hard because for many people, it was never just a personality trait. It was a survivor skill. You learn to keep the peace, avoid that conflict, manage other people's emotions, and make yourself easily loved just to feel safe or accepted or whatever you needed in that moment. But people pleasing often becomes deeply tied to your identity if you allow it. You become the dependable one, the understanding friend, the strong person, or the one who never asks for much. So when you start setting boundaries, it can feel like you're betraying who you always been. And that's okay. But we're learning through it to be better. Now, how can we choose ourselves in a real life setting? Like, yes, this sounds all nice. This sounds good. What I'm saying, it sounds good when you're listening to it, but how do we implement it? It's cool to hear these things and understand it, but let's actually put it in action. Let's put what's on pen and paper and bring it to life. Some ways that you can choose yourself in real life is resting without earning it. You know, that's my favorite one. We did a couple episodes about rest and how important that is. Whatever that looks like to you, describe it, figure it out. Find out what you need. Spending time alone. A lot of people do not know how to be alone. And I really feel bad for them because I don't understand. I'm going to be honest. I really don't understand. I love my alone time, quietness, silence. Maybe it's because a lot of people have a problem with the person they are inside, that they're scared to be alone with that person because they got so much baggage and so much dirt and so much trauma that they need to uproot in order to make whole again. So they try to run from it because it's too much to handle. I think that's why people have a hard time being alone. It's hard to look the person in the mirror when you're not happy with the person you're looking at, or you don't love the person that you're looking at. Well, that could be the case, but that's where you need to take the responsibility and own what you've been through. And maybe it's hard to face, but we're not asking for you to have it all together tomorrow or face it all tonight. It definitely is going to take time depending on the things you've been through or experienced or that really damaged you as a person. But admitting and acknowledging what you've been through, owning it, and being bold enough to say, I'm going to choose. I'm making the choice today to choose me and move and pick up healthier habits from the old habits that I've known or did in order for me to survive that storm that I was going through. But I'm choosing to be different and move different today. If you can sit here and stand up and say, I'm choosing every day, and by not just saying I'm choosing, but making steps in the right direction to choose to be different, that show that you're choosing to be different each and every day, you got my vote. I can depend on someone that does that more than I can say someone who probably got exemplary track record, but is more so pen to paper. I ain't never really seen no actions and want to fake pretend that they live in like this good old life and nothing's happening to them and no self-love, I love myself and da 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 da. They be the main ones running from who they really are. The fake, oh, I'm just a good person and I just put my heart on the line and people just run over it. I'm watching out for you because not every situation is somebody else's fault. What did you do? Accountability. I'm going to put my best dollar on the person that says, I own the things I've been through. It happened. And I did X, Y, and Z to get through it. And I'm not ashamed of it. Yes, it haunts me every day. Yes, I have difficulties trying to get through it. But I'm making the decision to not let my past define my future. I am making the decision to choose to be different every day, and not just me vocally or verbally saying it. Each and every day, I can tell you, I can show you on record that I've done this action this day, this action the next day, and it all adds up to lead for me to choose different. I'm intentionally and realistically choosing to be different. I'm putting my money on that person. I'm not putting my money on nobody who want to act like they ain't never been through nothing and want to act like they just, hold it now. Child, please, back away. Get back, Satan. Anyways, spending time alone. It's important. Get to know yourself. It may be painful for some people sitting in silence and just, you ain't really got to sit in silence. Do something that you like to do. And if you don't know what you like to do, okay, well, we have a problem. We're identifying more problems, and that's okay. It's not to shame you. It's for you to gather yourself, get it together. We clearly got some work to do, and let's figure it out. Let's date myself. Go on dates. Go walk in the park. Get a pet and walk your pet. Go with your children for a while. Go to the park, see nature. I'm doing puzzles now, and I think I said that last time. I just completed my first 500 piece puzzle, and I every day for the past, when I first did it, I had maybe went a week without doing it or two. But this week, I was like, I want to finish my puzzle, and I stayed up till like 12 on a work night. Feel like a child on a work night. Like what? Like this is a school night. I'm grown. But anyways, I spent a couple hours. I just did my puzzle and I finished it, and I was so excited. And I was like, this was so therapeutic. And I already have my next puzzle in the cart. I do want to say though, if you want to get into like puzzles, it's intentional with your time. You know, it may seem like you wasting time, but I think when you really do the puzzle, it really just stimulates your brain. And then I listen to my music and I just be vibing by myself and I be having a good old time. But if you are interested in puzzles, Smart Art, SMARDART. Oh, well, that's not the website, but their website is smard.art. That's where I got my first puzzle from, and I liked it. And I plan on like getting this glue off of Amazon that will make it stiff, and I'm going to put it on like a poster board. I don't really want to frame it because I might frame it because when I get my house, I think I'm gonna have a room specifically that's just like artsy and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna like harden it and then put it to the side for each puzzle that I do. And then I'll make my own little art gallery room with puzzles when I do get my house. And yes, I said when I get my house, because that's what the next step is. But I don't know, get to know yourself. Do something that you explore and figure it out. You'd be surprised with the things you like. I never really liked doing puzzles for real. And I was like, let me just try it. Now I really like it. So that's one of my hobbies. Also, protecting your mental peace, whatever that looks like. If people over here just bringing you problems and want to talk about problems and you want to hear no more, tell them, all right, girl, I'm going to call you back. You ain't got to tell them nothing. I'm going to call you back and don't call back. Because that's what people do. Say, I'm going to call you back and don't call back. They know you're not going to call back. So that's fine. If you got to do it that way, do it that way. Saying no to emotionally unavailable relationships. If you are a lover girl, emotional, I'm not gonna say emotional, but you're in tune with your emotions, do not go get somebody who not in tune with their emotions and nonchalant in that way. Because I mean, I'm nonchalant, but I am very emotionally in tune with my emotions to enough to have a healthy relationship. Like some things I don't like to really talk about, but I will if it means that my relationship needs to prosper, and if I need to change or tweak anything for my partner that considers my partner's emotions, I will do it. But don't get nobody who don't really care about the things you care about when it comes to relationships, because you're gonna go through what we call hell and hot water, and I don't want to go to hell, and I only like hot water in the shower. I don't think that's something that I just want to be in for a very, very long time, though. So prioritize, okay? That was also a next point. Prioritizing healing over attention. You do not need anybody to validate you. You have to be comfortable with your own decisions and secure with your own thoughts. I want you to do something. This is a way you can practice this in real life. A lot of us girls, for sure, ladies, when it comes to picking out like maybe an outfit or deciding how to decorate something, you like to get your girlfriend's opinion to see what they think. I want you to practice this. Don't ask one time. If you're picking out an outfit, pick it out. Decide for yourself. It might take you a while, but it's okay. Make this one of your decisions that you decide for yourself, and then keep practicing. It'll be something that you keep doing and put in repetition. It becomes normal, and you become more secure and more be able to validate your own reasoning, your own thoughts, your own decisions. That's how you start getting comfortable with not needing attention from others. Start prioritizing your own healing, your own thought process. Also, not shrinking yourself to keep others comfortable. Stop trying not to step on nobody's toes. Step on them. Step on them hard like you trying to crush a cockroach. Yes, I said cockroach. Step hard like you trying to stump a roach out, a rat, whatever. You just trying to kill it dead, kill a snake. Step hard. Come hard. Say that with your chest. Like, stop shrinking yourself for others. You deserve to shine and blossom and be seen. You cannot reach your full potential if you're allowing others' feelings and emotions and worried about how they're going to feel because you want to shine. If that person really, truly, genuinely cared about you, you shining would not offend them. They would actually boost you and want you to be better and want you to shine bright. You'll be surprised the potential that you have, the capabilities that you have. You can miss so many opportunities and chances at certain things in life that probably come dime at a dozen because you wanted to shrink yourself. Stop. Give yourself a chance, okay? And some practical tips that I can give, because I know sometimes in a moment when you're trying to do stuff, but you have to consciously make the decision that I'm choosing me. It can be hard because sometimes it's an afterthought, especially if it's something not normal that you're used to doing. Some practical tips is pause before automatically saying yes. This creates a space between your instinct to please others and your actual feelings, needs, or capacity. That small pause helps you check in with yourself before actually committing. Ask yourself, do I genuinely want to do this? Stop over explaining your decisions as well. So if you say no, you meant no. I don't got to explain to you why I don't want to go. I said no. Constantly over explaining your decisions often comes from feelings like you need permission to honor your own needs. And I don't need permission to do nothing. You grown. This could be a sign that you've been conditioned to believe your boundaries are only valid if other people approve or fully understand them. And I don't care if you understand it or not. I said what I said. Let's normalize changing your mindset ASAP. Okay? Now that I gave you some practical tips, you can also go to ChatGPT, Copilot, Google, any of those things, and put in there, I need to, create some real life tips and tricks on how I can start choosing myself in everyday life. Put in there what you like. Chat and Copilot will definitely spit something back at you that you probably would be surprised, because they be onto something, I must say. But put it in there and see what are some ways that you can implement that in your everyday life and still choose yourself, no matter how busy you are. No, life be life in, and you gotta have your own responsibilities of taking care of your kids, probably a family member, or going to work and doing all of this. So it'd be hard to implement certain things in 24 hours, because it don't be feeling like you got 24 hours, especially if you got a 9 to 5. You got to take 8 hours for sleep. Hopefully you're getting 8 hours, and half the time we're not. If you stubborn like me, I think I'm so doggone grown that I'd be like, I ain't got no bedtime. I'm grown. I don't need to be doing that and then wake up tired. So don't be like me. But it'd be hard to implement certain things in that 24 hours. But if you have to, you could still choose yourself every day, and it don't have to be big gestures. It could be small things that add up. But put in there, how can I be intentional with myself? How can I choose myself every day when I have this busy schedule? See what it says. Now that you've probably came this far and you have an idea of what some things that you're going to do and how you can choose yourself every day, let's start rebuilding our relationship with ourselves. Learning to trust yourself again and choose yourself again, it definitely starts with those small moments. The small moments are the foundation. When you simply just stop abandoning your own feelings, needs, instincts, and boundaries. Just doing one of those 4 things every day, a small little act of kindness towards yourself, is simply showing that you're choosing yourself each and every day. You do your best to naturally or intentionally make the decision to choose you. This looks like believing your discomfort the first time instead of talking yourself out of it just to make other people feel comfortable. You felt how you felt. Your body naturally reacted to what that person said or did. The natural reaction told you that you did not like it. Believe it the first time. It also looks like leaving situations that drain you without needing proof that they're harmful enough for you to leave. Again, they did it the first time. The small little act of disrespect is showing you, it's telling you this person doesn't respect you. And at any cost, they're going to consider themselves first and put themselves first before you. Leave. You do not have to go through hell and hot water to make things work. Real love it doesn't require you to have to do all of that for things that a person does that was cause you to lose trust in them. That's not hard times. No. Let's dictate what hard times really are in a relationship, friendship. You hating on me or jealous of me or always got something negative to say when I bring something to your attention about what I want to do in my life, not really looking for you to give me permission, but I would like to share this with someone that I care about that I would hope would want to see me do better. Choosing you and learning to trust yourself again is just keeping promises to yourself, even the small ones. Protecting your routines, drinking your water, going for a walk. Becoming someone who shows up for you. Self-prioritization is a form of emotional maturity. You're giving yourself the care you freely give to others. It's simply just that. I have something I want you to consider, reflect on either now or after this episode, or just a random thought throughout the week or in the future. I just want you to think about it, ponder on it. What would my life feel like if I stopped betraying myself for approval? Made you think, didn't it? Think about it. Choosing yourself is not losing people. It's finding yourself. I remind you that you are allowed to take up space. You do not need to earn rest, softness, or boundaries. Protecting your peace is valid. And I'm going to leave you with some self-affirmations that you can add to your list. The ones that you even say in the morning or before you go to bed, or while you're cooking, while you're cleaning, while you're getting the kids ready to go to bed, while you're helping them with their homework. Whenever that moment where you are thoughtful, whether it's in the shower, when you wash your face, brush your teeth, I want you to add this to your list of affirmations. I am allowed to choose myself without guilt. My needs matter too. I can love others without abandoning myself. Choose you. You deserve it. If nobody else deserves it, the most out of you, you deserve the most out of you. You deserve the most kindness, the most love and support. You deserve to be happy. So let's start choosing it. Before we close, we will end this episode with this season's mantra. You know, I like to do my breathing techniques just to release all that tension, all of that, whatever's holding your body or hardening your spirit. Let's just release it, because I know we just talked about a lot. So if you are thinking or reflecting, please pause the episode right here and you can resume when you are ready. And I want you to breathe in and breathe out. Again, slowly in and breathe out. One last time, I want you to take it all the way in and out. I want you to repeat after me. I honor what ended. I protect what's healing. I reclaim what's mine. Repeat it. Sit with it. Let it be the reminder that this year is yours fully. Next episode will be episode 10, Soft Life, Hard Boundaries. We're talking about peace and self-respect through boundary setting. More on boundaries. You don't want to miss it. And I just want to say my favorite parts of the episode is the breathing techniques, because it allows me to decompress, because I usually record the episodes like after work, and it just helps me just release. I hope it does the same thing for you. I hope it gives you that attentional time that you need to just release the day. Sometimes you just got to get it out your spirit. And after this, I might go wash the day off and take me a nice, thoughtful shower. I usually do that after work because I just need to get that gulk of work off of me. But I just want to mention that. I hope it does the same thing for you guys. But thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications on my YouTube page at I Am Enough Pod, so you never miss an episode. If this message resonated with you, please share it with someone who may need to hear it. You can also follow me on Instagram at iam.enoughmsl. If you're locked in this season, feel free to share a photo of you journaling, your reflections, or this season's mantra on Instagram. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.